What if I told you that feeling exhausted in your 40s has almost nothing to do with your age and everything to do with what's happening behind the scenes in your body? Because the truth is, your energy didn't just disappear. It's being drained by a few hidden systems that most people never even think to look at. In this video, I'll show you why your fatigue isn't actually caused by aging, what's really happening inside your body that's draining your energy every single day, and the simple shifts you can start making right away to finally feel steady, clear, and energized again. Imagine your phone starts dying by 2 p.m. every day. At first, you might think, well, I guess the battery's just getting old. But then you take it to someone who actually understands what's going on. And they tell you it's not the battery, it's the apps that are running in the background, draining everything. And suddenly it makes sense because the phone battery itself hasn't gotten too old, it's just overwhelmed. And your body works in a very similar way. What you're feeling isn't random. And it's not just getting older. It's your body running too many background processes without the support it actually needs. So, what are these background apps in your body? Because here's the shift that changes everything. We're not trying to fix your fatigue directly. We're looking at the systems that create your energy in the first place and gently bringing those back into balance. The first system we'll look at is blood sugar and hormone stability. Let me ask you something. Do you ever hit that point in the afternoon, maybe around 2 or 3 p.m., where your energy just drops? And suddenly you're reaching for coffee, something sweet, and just trying to push through the rest of your day? If that's happening, there's a reason behind it. It's usually a sign that your blood sugar has been on a roller coaster all day. And here's why that matters more than most people realize. Your blood sugar doesn't just affect your energy, it directly impacts your hormones. And your hormones are what help regulate your energy, your sleep, your mood, all of it. So when your blood sugar is constantly spiking and crashing, maybe from skipping meals, eating inconsistently, or relying on quick processed foods, your body has to work really hard to keep things stable. And that constant compensation, it drains your energy. Because now your body is not just trying to fuel your day, it's trying to fix the imbalance at the same time. And this is also where sleep starts to get affected because those same blood sugar dips can happen at night, waking you up even if you don't fully realize it. So you wake up already tired and the cycle just continues. Now, the shift here is actually very simple. A great starting point would be working to create more consistency and stability in how you eat. That can look like eating every 3 to 4 hours and making sure to include protein, healthy fats, and carbohydrates in your meals. And focusing on real whole foods that your body recognizes and can actually use. Because when your blood sugar is stable, your body starts to feel safe. And when your body feels safe, your hormones can start to regulate. And that's when your energy begins to feel steady again, not just for a moment, but throughout the entire day, day after day. This is one of those foundational shifts that starts to ripple into everything else we're going to talk about next. Now, let's talk about something that confuses a lot of people, because I hear this all the time. I'm getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep, so why am I still exhausted? And this is where we need to shift how we think about sleep, because it's not about how long you're in bed. It's about how deeply your body is actually able to rest. You can be in bed for 8 hours and still wake up feeling like you barely slept. And if that's happening, it's usually not a discipline problem, It's a signal because your sleep is directly connected to the systems we just talked about, especially your hormones and blood sugar. When those are out of rhythm, your sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and less restorative. And this is where people often start noticing patterns like waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. or feeling like their minds turn on in the middle of the night. That's often your body responding to a drop in blood sugar or a shift in cortisol. So even if you don't fully wake up, your body does. And that means you're not getting the deep, restorative sleep your body actually needs to recharge. So you wake up already behind, and then you're trying to push through the day on an already depleted system. Now, the shift here isn't about trying harder to sleep. It's about supporting the conditions that allow your body to sleep deeply. You could start with a few simple things. Keeping a consistent sleep and wake time, even on the weekends, making sure you're eating enough throughout the day so your blood sugar stays stable at night, and reducing stimulation in the evening. Things like bright lights, screens, or intense mental input right before bed. Because when your body feels safe and your rhythms are supported, deep restorative sleep becomes something that happens naturally. And when your sleep improves, your energy doesn't just feel better in the morning, it becomes more stable throughout your entire day. And this is where we start to see how these systems really build on each other. Because the next piece plays an even deeper role in how your body actually creates energy from what you eat. Now, this next piece is where a lot of people start to feel confused because they'll say something like, I eat really healthy, so why do I still feel so tired? And this is where we need to look a little deeper because your energy isn't just coming from what you eat. It's coming from what your body can actually absorb and use. And that process happens in your gut. So even if you're eating all of the right foods, if your gut isn't functioning well, your body may not be getting the nutrients it needs to actually produce energy. And this can happen for a few different reasons. Sometimes the gut lining is inflamed or irritated, which makes it harder to absorb nutrients. Sometimes digestion isn't working efficiently, so food isn't being broken down properly in the first place. And sometimes elimination is sluggish, meaning your body isn't clearing out waste the way it should. And when that waste starts to build up, it creates more stress on the system, which can leave you feeling heavy, sluggish, and tired. So again, your body is doing extra work behind the scenes trying to extract nutrients while also managing inflammation and dealing with waste it hasn't been able to clear. And all of that takes energy. Now, the shift here is about supporting your gut so it can actually do its job. To support your gut for healthy energy production, start by adding in a few simple and supportive foods. Things like bone broth, which can really help to soothe and support the gut lining. Probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, kefir, or fermented vegetables to support your microbiome. And fiber-rich whole foods to support digestion and regular elimination. And if you've been dealing with ongoing symptoms like bloating, discomfort, or reactions to certain foods, this is also where looking into food sensitivities can be really helpful. Because the more you personalize what your body actually needs, the easier it becomes for your body to absorb, use, and turn that food into energy. And this is where we start to move from just eating healthy to actually being nourished, which is a very different experience for your body. And once this piece starts to improve, it sets the stage for the next layer, which is how your body actually turns those nutrients into usable energy at the cellular level. Now, this next piece is one that most people have never even heard of. But once you understand it, a lot of things start to click. Because even if your blood sugar is more stable and your gut is absorbing nutrients better, there's still one more step your body has to go through to actually create energy. And that happens inside your cells. Inside each of your cells are these tiny little structures called mitochondria. And their entire job is to take the nutrients from your food and turn them into usable energy. So, this is where your energy is actually being made. And here's the part most people don't realize: your mitochondria can only do their job if they have the right nutrients available. Things like magnesium, B vitamins, iron, CoQ10. These are like the tools your body uses to actually produce energy at a cellular level. So if you're low in those nutrients, even if you're eating enough food, your body can't produce energy efficiently. It's like trying to cook a meal without all of the ingredients. You might have some of what you need, but if key pieces are missing, the meal doesn't come together the way it should. And your body works the same way. Without the right nutrients, it can't fully create the energy you're relying on. And this is why so many people feel like they're doing everything right, but still feel exhausted because their body simply doesn't have what it needs to create energy. Now, the shift here is about giving your body the raw materials it's been missing. And this is where you can start by focusing on nutrient density, not just calories. That means prioritizing whole, unprocessed foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals your body actually needs. And in some cases, especially if there's been long-term depletion, targeted supplementation can be really supportive here. Things like magnesium and B vitamins in their active methylated forms can make a noticeable difference for a lot of people. Because when your cells have what they need, energy production starts to feel more efficient again. And instead of constantly feeling like you're running on empty, your body can actually keep up with the demands of your day. And this is where we start to see energy not just come back, but feel more sustainable. Because there's one more piece that can override all of this, even if everything else is in place. And that's your nervous system. This last piece is the one that can quietly override everything else we've talked about. Because you can be eating well, supporting your gut, even getting more consistent sleep, and still feel exhausted. But at the same time, you can't fully relax. You feel tired, but wired. And if that sounds familiar, this is usually when you need to look at your nervous system. Because your body has two main modes it can be in. One is a state of stress, what we often call fight or flight. And the other is a state of safety, rest and digest. And your body is designed to move between these two states. But what happens for a lot of people, especially in this stage of life, is that the body gets stuck in that stress state. Running, doing, thinking, solving, responding all day long. Even if your life doesn't look that stressful on the outside, remember, stress isn't just big, obvious events. It's constant busyness. It's never really having space to slow down. It's pushing through when your body is asking for rest. And over time, your body starts to adapt to that pace. Your cortisol rhythm becomes dysregulated. Your system stays slightly on, even when you're trying to wind down. And that state, it drains your energy because your body is constantly prioritizing survival over restoration. So even when you rest, you don't fully recharge. Now, the shift here is not about eliminating stress. It's about showing your body consistently that it's safe to come out of it. To train your body and nervous system for safety, you might start by choosing just one small practice each day that brings your body into a calmer state. This could be something simple like a quiet walk without your phone, a few minutes of slow, steady breathing, sitting in stillness, even for just a moment. Because these aren't just nice habits, they're signals to your nervous system, signals that you're safe. And when your body starts to feel safe again, everything else we talked about begins to work better. Your hormones regulate more easily, your digestion improves, your sleep deepens, and your energy starts to come back online in a way that actually feels steady. Not forced, not pushed, but supported. And this is where everything starts to come together. Now, while all of that sounds easy enough, it can be hard to know which system to prioritize supporting first and where to start. So, if you want my help in figuring it out, click the link in my description below, and I would love to talk to you and see what I can do for you one on one.